Today's episode breaks down three major paradigms that keep real estate agents from living the biggest life possible. The first one is, can I actually create social media content and make my phone ring all day long? Today's episode goes into depth on how that is possible. Number two is, can I actually have mobility to where I can move my real estate business to another state, to another location, and be able to pick up, not in a matter of years, but in a matter of weeks. And number three, is there actually a plan to where I can exit out of production and not always have to be selling homes, actually be able to retire at some point? Today's episode, today's guest talks about how in 3 short years, he's shown all of us how that can be done faster than ever. You're gonna love this episode. You're gonna wanna share it, and you're gonna wanna follow Jesse Dow and Jackson Wilkie, the YouTube agents. Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddart. It's interesting how many people want to get into the real estate industry when the market is humming. Yet if you really stop to examine, how do people get out of the real estate business? How do they actually create an exit plan? We're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about how to blow up your business with YouTube. I have with me today someone who's expert in both of those topics. Before I get into that, I want you to know that we take snippets of every show. We put them in the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook. If you're not yet a member there, if you're not yet engaging there, you're missing out on getting bite-sized, digestible content from these episodes, the very best of the things that we learn here, and spoon-feeding it to you so that you can apply it into your business. Today's guest is becoming nationally, if not internationally, known for the way that he's leveraging the YouTube platform to build massive real estate businesses around the country. He's only been in the business for 3 years, yet he's already exited out of production. He's somebody you have to lead, that you have to follow. Jesse Dow, thank you so much for coming on the Think Bigger Real Estate Show today.
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm super excited to be here and love sharing what we do and helping others. It's one of my passions.
Dude, and you're good at it. I'll tell you what, it's interesting how, a couple of things that you've solved that I don't think a lot of people really understood could be solved, especially not in 3 short years in the business. Number one is using YouTube to blow up your business. Let's start with that. And then I have a couple other things that you're doing incredibly well. So talk to us. How did you stumble upon this YouTube game, and why do you feel like it's the most underutilized tool that a real estate agent has?
Yeah. So the whole thing with like YouTube, it was kind of it actually comes a lot from like my backstory previous to real estate was, I worked in the alcoholic beverage industry for 15 years. And then I pivoted into real estate. And when I was in the alcoholic beverage industry, the industry moves very, very fast, faster than you could ever even imagine. And it changes daily. You're working, there's laws, there's people's taste buds change. You just see the way it moves. Anyways, with that came advertising and the way that the brands represented themselves. And it really became all about influencing the consumer's decision-making at the point of purchase. So the only way that we could start doing that was really through social media ads. So before TV and radio was the only thing to advertise on, this is where back in like 2012, 2013, Instagram wasn't even around. We went 100% away from traditional radio and TV, went 100% into social media. I really got a good grasp of how that actually worked. But I knew that like Facebook and Instagram was all very entertainment and very like pulsative content. So transitioning into real estate, I was grinding it out and doing very well my first year, cold calling and all that stuff. But I hired a coach. You've met him before, Frank Driscoll. And, the one thing I really loved, and actually when I interviewed multiple coaches, one thing about me is I'll interview multiple people before I do anything, before I hire a coach, before I, hire agents, whatever it is. He actually said a couple of things that really popped in my mind. And one was that like the biggest thing was like, you have to get the business coming directly to you versus you always chasing the business. That's the only way you're going to be able to really succeed and step on the gas and eventually like exit out of real estate if that's what your ultimate goal is. And so he gave me a couple ideas. One was like building like a massive Facebook group and being like the digital mayor essentially. The other was he always talked about YouTube, but like nobody really ever understood YouTube. So in my opinion, I was like, man, ever since I ever had my first iPhone, YouTube was like the app that came stock on YouTube. So I'm like, it must be a big thing. And then, doing more research, I realized that YouTube was owned by Google. I knew what Google already was. So we started getting into the whole space of, YouTube, but we weren't doing it the proper way. We were doing the videos of like title, escrow, home buying process, going out and interviewing the t-shirt shops, restaurants and all that stuff, And that's just the stuff that you hear Gary Vee say, like, be your digital mayor. The thing is being in it now and going through the hurdles, because we went through it for about a year of getting no deals. And that was, very, very painful. And when the reason why is because people aren't on YouTube searching that. People use YouTube like a search engine, just like Google. If you're searching to like change, say, the light in your car, the headlight, you're going to go to YouTube. You're going to find how to do it in 2 minutes and you're done. That's how fast this information is at the tips of your fingers. So now, like when people are moving and they want to know what a city looks like, they're typing in the cost of living in, say, Portland, Oregon, the pros and cons of living in Portland, Oregon, the safest neighborhoods in Portland, Oregon, so on and so forth. So once we figured that out, that's when the game changed. And we started developing lots of content around that, but we still weren't getting any calls. And we actually almost quit and gave up, but we actually made one move that changed our entire real estate career. And that was like, we met with someone and asked them to look at our videos and just ask them what they thought was going on and why we weren't getting calls. And it was the most simple thing ever. And he's like, dude, you're not telling people to call you. So we retooled our entire call to action. And the next day, like after we dropped that next video with our call to action, our phone literally, like we got 14 clients that called us. They're like, we've been watching your videos forever. Like, we absolutely love you guys. And we knew right then it was just like an entire game changer.
How interesting. So a couple key things. What are people searching for when they're moving to a city? That was a key thing.
Mm-hmm.
Number two was you've got to have a call to action. People have to call you. Now, I know you guys, those are just like a couple tips of the iceberg, right? You guys have gone deep and created entire training platforms on how to help people blow up their business via YouTube. For those people that are like, oh my goodness, that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to create content and have my phone ring, right? Instead of me calling people all day long and interrupting them and what they're doing, I would rather give valuable information and have my phone ring, which is exactly what you guys are doing, not just in one place, but in how many places across the country right now, Jesse?
Yeah. So our ultimate goal is to have 13 partners across the country that we directly have a piece of our, our piece of the business. So we currently are in 9 states. In the US, and that's the channels that we actually participate in. Our goal is 13, and you might say, why is 13 the number? And because we take a referral fee on everything that we produce content on, but we cap that at $150,000 each in referral payment payouts. And 13 channels will net both of Jackson and I each $1 million, and that's a massive deal to us. So we just rolled out actually, Reno, Bozeman, and Phoenix and Houston. And we actually both relocated to 2 new states to make this happen. And the one thing is like, we're helping agents build a brand and a business, like in the markets that they're in. And we're also like building our business as well. So I've always been in the mindset of, if the people that I'm surrounding myself with and helping are successful, I am able to leverage that into my own success. So when it's a win-win for everyone, it's just like building this great cohesive environment. And everyone's extremely happy, even with the agents I've partnered with, like even on my own personal team inside Portland.
So back to my amazing, by the way, how many locations are you guys in right now? Do you know?
Yeah, we're in 9 states. We're in 9 markets
okay,
directly that we touch.
Okay, perfect. And expanding, right? You want to get to 13 or 13 partners?
13 partners. We have agents that have like came and decided to work with us and partner with us across the US. And actually, we have 33 people that directly work with us inside of our agency, which we are at EXP. That model worked well for us just because it has global coverage and it's not franchise owned. So it really opens the walls in that regards. And it allows us to partner with people now that want to come and work with us, use our tools, use our systems, have us coach them directly. Because at the end of the day, dude, like everything's like, people say it all the time, like rip off and duplicate. And I've already built the model. Why recreate the wheel? We were the ones that invented the vlogging for real estate. And I went through Jackson and I went through a year of all the trials and tribulations. I can now give somebody a platform on how to be successful. And when I talk about launching 13 markets, I can now hand the same model to an agent, say they're in Florida, and they want to replicate what I've done and not do real estate and just take a referral piece, but go around and help shoot content, help people build up their channels, and just receive that referral. And that's exactly what we have happening right now.
Got it. So that's the 13 partners that are people that are out extending the brand to other agents. Okay. Yep. Got it. So now let's say that there's people out there that say, I don't know if I want to partner, but I want to learn how to do YouTube. Where would people go? Jesse?
Yeah. So we have our YouTube agents YouTube channel. We give everything away for free there. Tips, tricks. You can see, I mean, we have hundreds of videos on there. And we also have our Facebook group, the YouTube agents. People are in there every single day, lots of practitioners, people practicing every single day. We have people that have never, and then we also have our course, our boot camps, and then we also own a full-blown video agency, because through this whole process, we've had people saying, hey, can you tell us how you do this? We created our course. Then we had people saying, hey, can you do this all for us? So we created the agency, just through our own trials and experiences to make sure that, we're able to give people what they are asking for at a very high level. So that's why we're able to like launch a channel now. Say like in Bozeman, we launched it on Friday of last week. And then yesterday we got our first hot lead that came in, and these people are calling you. They've already qualified you. They treat you like a celebrity, and we're able to ramp these channels up extremely fast. But here's the deal. Not everyone is created equally, as when it comes to video. So the one tip I will give everyone is just to get on the camera, start shooting the videos, but make sure you're being specific about what you're shooting, and make sure that people are actually searching that content out. You can't just put anything out there and hope it goes viral.
So at the lowest level on learning how to do what you've done, they can go to the YouTube Agents YouTube channel and get access to boot camps, get access to the courses, etc. The next level is you can say, partner with me, right? Like actually help me to do this, right? Is that the next tier up?
Exactly.
Like help me build my channel. I'm in, let's say, Missoula, Montana, and I want to build something, right?
Yep.
And you could say, great, we're going to help you. We're going to step in. We're going to help you build it. And then at that point, you take a percentage of all of that that's coming in, but it's built for you. You got, like, your hands are all over it. Like, you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. We know exactly what we're doing. We actually fly to their market. We help them shoot the content, get it up and running. And then after a certain amount of videos, we step out, let them take over the channel. We still receive our referral. The thing is in say that somebody didn't like that model, they're like, oh, I want to do it all on my own, but still partner with you guys. We give them the access to all of our tools for free. They can use our agency at cost and things like that. It just really depends what level the agent wants us to be involved. We know we can get it going extremely fast. We also know what markets are going to be successful more than others. So those are the ones that we really, really focus on, just based on the competition that is already in those markets on YouTube, but also how many people are actually relocating to those markets as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then you also have the option of people leveraging your agency, right? To help with everything from creating the material, the content, to posting it, to optimizing it, all of that. You guys have really created a nice value ladder, right? Of people who can like, I need your help just to learn how to do it. I need your help on producing it. I need your help partnering it. And I'm willing to give you a percentage of it. Powerful stuff, man. So the next problem that I want to talk about that you guys have really solved is this mobility issue, right? A lot of agents, they get locked into a market. They're like, I can't possibly go move to another state, although I may want to, right? I may want to move to another state for whatever reason. I can't, because my whole sphere, my whole network, my whole business is right here in Portland, Oregon, let's say, right? I'd want to move to Bozeman, Montana, but how could I possibly do that? You guys, using a couple of things. Number one, the YouTube model. Number two is the brokerage that you're part of gives you the ability to kind of have no borders, right?
Yeah, 100%. You nailed it. The thing is when COVID hit, it was the best thing ever for my business. And I'm not saying that like in a bad way. I'm saying we were already doing Zoom. We were already in this virtual world. So what it did is it brought everyone up to our level essentially, and opened up people's knowledge of what Zoom is. Because I would always ask clients, or every time they contact us, our goal is to get them onto Zoom within 2 messages, or at least schedule the appointment. The longer the conversation goes, as everyone knows, the more likely they are to go away. So what happened was through this whole process, it allowed us to move to other markets and relocate. But since we already had our business inbound and people we'd already developed and established ourselves as the authoritarian channel in Portland, I have my team there. They're not prospecting at all. No open houses, no door knocking, no cold calling. Their only job is to literally talk to clients that call us directly. We don't call anybody. Schedule the Zoom call, show houses, write contracts, manage the clients, close deals. And I was talking to Heather, my lead buyer's agent, this morning. She actually said that since we came over here, which was March 1st, EXP, her personally, she has closed 29 deals off of YouTube, which is huge for one buyer's agent. she's actually made over $100,000, and the split that I receive off of those deals, is very, it's very lucrative for any broker owner or team lead out there. But the thing is since they're not prospecting and they're doing high volume and it's all inbound traffic, they absolutely love it. So since that business is free flowing into Portland, now I'm able to move to another market, recreate the wheel while that business is still flowing and paying me. I'm able to come to another market or set up other things. So it allows you to expand. Also, if you were to want to step out of real estate, I've completely removed myself out of production. It allows me to do more things, which is really nice. But I'm also making agents very happy by producing real estate results for them.
You've really embraced this this brokerage with no borders, and I'm not just talking about EXP. I'm talking about what you guys have done when it comes to YouTube, right? I mean, what you just described there defies what most people have believed about the real estate industry. Is that you're in a geographical location, and that's where your business has to stay, unless you're completely starting over. And what you're saying is that you might be starting over, but it's a matter of weeks to start over, not years, right?
100%. And you can even start a YouTube channel, say like in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, while you're living in Portland, Oregon. I mean, our Seattle channel, we went there for one day, and we have hundreds of videos up there. And in the last 6 months, that channel has consistently grown and thrived, and we close deals every day up there with our partner agent. And it's the most amazing thing. And when you're adding so much value to these clients, they're dying for this information. They just want to see it, and they're trying to find it.
See, and that's the amazing thing that you've done is that you've really given people the ability to look differently again at how they grow their business, about how they can have mobility within their business, and lastly, how they can exit their business, right? That's the third thing that I think you guys have really unlocked here. Is that, it's been joked that like a real estate business can be like Hotel California. Everybody wants in. And I kind of talked about this as we started the episode. Everybody wants in the real estate industry, but nobody knows how to get out of it. Right. And it was like, wait, like, how do I actually retire? Right. And obviously there have been models, right? A friend of ours, Nick Crowder, developed the golden handoff. Mm-hmm. You guys have taken a different approach in 3 years, right? I mean, right now you have 59 deals in escrow. If anybody's wondering, like, are these just like some like video guys that don't actually sell real estate? They've got 59 deals in escrow right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. And additionally, they have the ability to step out of real estate after 3 years of being in the business. Right. So talk to us a little bit about maybe how powerful that's been for you to realize, like, I don't have to do real estate forever. I can if I want to, but I don't have to.
It's honestly like, even coming into real estate, and people always say like it changed my life and all these things. And in real estate can really be whatever you want it to be. The only thing that you're confined by, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on the other side now, but like is the franchise walls is very limiting, because you start limiting yourself to the people that you surround yourself with. Everyone knows that you're the sum of the 5 people you're around. But once the franchise wall literally came wide open, it was literally just mind blowing to me to like, now I used to focus on Portland. Then I kind of like focused a little bit broader. And actually I was on Gary Vee's show as a guest one time. And he actually told me that I needed to focus locally and expand outward, which is exactly what we did. Like, we didn't try to do it really, really fast. And it was just this time thing. So yes, it's a complete game-changing situation, but you adapt to your environment. So when you're only focusing on a specific area, like say your geographical farm, that's all you're going to focus on. If you're like all of a sudden now, like, I want to focus on building my business across the United States, it's naturally going to start just happening. And you always like come up to the level that you're at. It's even like when you start building your team in real estate, I've always said I'm not going to bring on another agent till our business hits a certain threshold. That way our agents don't feel like they're, getting the value that I said that they would. But every time I add another agent, it just comes up to another level. You always meet your thresholds, it's fantastic and it's great. It just don't limit yourself, because there is other things out there. And I always say, just like, have an open mind. It doesn't matter where you go. You have to be in the environment that fits you the best. But I think a lot of people limit themselves to what their abilities are. And the one crazy thing is when I got into real estate, I never heard anybody talking about like, any brokerage talking about exiting real estate or building a plan besides Nick to, here's a plan that I'm going to put forth in front of you to exit out. Because the minute that you're done with real estate is the minute that brokerage stops receiving money off of you. It's sad. I talk to the biggest team owners across the country, brokerage owners, whatever it may be. And they all say that they've been to more funerals than they have been to people's retirement parties. And this is like what I call new age real estate, where the leverage is at an all-time high. You don't have to hire assistants anymore. I have amazing transaction coordinator that doesn't work for me. I feel like I am leveraged to the hill with everything I do. And it creates a lot of freedom, but it also allows you to focus on the end game, because everyone needs to enjoy life. Otherwise, you're going to be a real estate agent when you're 90 years old, chasing those, deals and referrals and trying to figure it out when it's too late.
Yeah. Well, you've broken about every major paradigm that exists in real estate, Jesse. I'm just enamored by what you've done. I'm impressed by what you've done. You've got 2 minutes left. You're a busy man. You got to jump to your next commitment. Answer the signature question for us, excuse me, which is, what do you do to continue to be a big thinker and expand your possibilities? Obviously, you're running in some different circles these days. You're providing a different value proposition than most would have ever comprehended could have happened in real estate. Teach us what you're doing on a day-to-day basis to make that continue to happen.
Like, honestly, you just gave me goosebumps when you said that, because like what it is, it really goes back to that thing of like knowing like whatever you think you want to do, there's possibilities to make that happen. I mean, you hear people say it all the time, like, don't wait till you're 80 years old to have any regrets in life. The thing is there's platforms and there's tools out there to allow you to live the life that you want to live. It's just, you have to be the person that uses those tools to make it happen, and don't become a prisoner of your own world. When you talked about the Hotel California, that's exactly what it is. Don't live amongst beyond your means, and don't put yourself in these positions of where you're always feeling like you're fighting an uphill battle, because nothing feels better when the opportunities arrive where you can turn on a dime, make a shift, and make your business grow significantly bigger. Like me being able to move to Phoenix, Arizona a month ago, that would have never been able to happen if I wasn't in the position I was. But it just allows me to feel like even my mental health is on a whole nother level that I've ever felt before.
It's powerful, man. To believe it and then see it, right? You got to believe it to see it. Surround yourself with the powerful people like you have. I would encourage everybody, if you're not yet following Jesse Dow, Jackson Wilkie, the YouTube agents, you're crazy, because whether or not you adopt their models or not, your mind is going to be expanded. You're going to be a big thinker. Jesse, thank you so much for your time today.
Yep,
The final
Dan.
request of everybody are these 3 simple words, and they are: go think bigger. Thanks, Jesse. Talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, later, dude.
You bet.